Hello everyone, this is Shannon from Waffle Flower Crafts. In today's video, I will be creating a Copic colored card with the new Peony Dreams Stamp Set. You can purchase this set as a combo and you receive the stamps in the front in this cloud storage bag, and in the back you get the matching dies. And all the dies come now detabbed and they're on their own magnetic backing. So I already went ahead and stamped several of the images and a sentiment from the set in Memento Tuxedo Black onto 110-pound white cardstock. Now I'm just going to Copic color these images in. My marker colors are on screen so you can follow along. I always start with my lightest color, which is BV02 right now, and I'm doing this flower a little bit differently. Normally I'd color all the way to the very tips, but I'm stopping just at the very tip of the petals. I'll take a different marker later to color those. Now that I'm done with my lightest shade, I'm now moving to my medium shade, which is BV04, and I'm going to color about halfway up the petals. I'm going to continue to work my way around this flower just to make sure every one of the petals has a little bit of that medium shade on it. My basic approach to Copic coloring is start with my light, then my medium, then my dark, and then I will go back to my medium and then finish up with a final layer of my light. That is not necessarily a hard and fast rule. Definitely sometimes go back and forth between layers to kind of get a softer blend, but that's my basic approach. I just finished with my darkest shade and now I'm working my way back through. So now I have BV04, my medium shade, and I'm going back over and blending where the dark and the medium meet. Now I'll move on to my light shade, which is BV02, and blend over where the medium and the light meets. And again, all this does is just create a more seamless, smooth gradation. Because this is a larger flower, this is definitely times where you might go back through. I'm kind of just not happy with the contrast, so I'm now going back over with my medium shade and adding just a little bit darker, so there's still a very good gradation. It's a nice, really does create like the roundness of the petal and a really pretty look. Once I finish here touching up with that lightest color, I'm now moving on to a blue. This is B32. So this is what I had to play around with these this color combo to kind of get the right blue violet that I liked. Everything was just a little bit more violet than blue. So I decided to add this blue color at the very tips of the petals, kind of actually almost coloring about halfway down, and I really liked how this just kind of made everything a little bit more violet, a little bit more indigo, and I really liked the finished look. But I am taking, just to blend it back, after I did that blue layer, I then take my lightest again and blend back over just to smooth out that transition. And once I'm done with that, I'm done with the coloring of this flower. I really love how this blue-violet combo turned out. It really is the exact color that I was kind of going for. Now I'm going to move on to the leaves. The leaves are very quick and easy, just 3 colors. Again, starting with my lightest, coloring the entire leaf with my lightest shade, then went to my medium shade. Now I'm finishing up the tips and the base of the leaf with my darkest. Now I'm going back through with my medium and then finishing up with my lightest. That just makes a nice contour to the leaf. Now I'm working on the center of the flower. This is very teeny tiny little area. I have some yellows and oranges kind of picked out here. Basically I color the whole thing yellow and then add some little pops of oranges to help give it a little contrast. Now I'm moving on to the girl herself. She's so beautiful and elegant. She's inside this flower, and I'm just going to start with her skin and just have 2 colors picked out for that, just adding a little shading here and there with my darker shade. And now her hair, 3 colors picked out for that. Again, starting with my lightest, then working halfway up with my medium. Then I'll go to my darkest shade and then I'll work back through with my medium to the light. And again, this is such a tiny little section. The coloring does go really quick. Now her little swimsuit or her little clothes, I'm just using 2 pinks, coloring the whole thing with my light pink and then just adding a little shadow with the darker. Now let's move on to this butterfly or moth. I have a yellow-orange combo for the majority of the wings, and the colors on screen so you can follow along. I colored the entire wings with the lightest yellow, and then I'm working my way through those 4 additional colors. A lot of colors here for these wings, but that's because I'm doing a great kind of transition from a very light yellow to kind of a rich orange, and that usually requires just more colors. Now for the rest of the wing tips and the body of the butterfly or moth, I'm using the same browns that I used for the girl's hair. This is just a great way of incorporating that brown again, and it's a great way to, one rule I've heard, though I don't always do it, is to use that same color 3 more times in your card or your finished piece. Well, here I didn't use the brown 3 times, but I did use it 2 times, maybe 3 if you count the body of the butterfly. But I think that's a really good rule of thumb to help to make sure you have nice balance with your colors. So now that I've finished coloring all the images, and I went ahead and colored the rest of the flower off screen, and I die cut them out with the matching dies and then added foam tape to the back. I doubled up the foam tape on the back of the flower as well on about half of the sentiment. This is just because I kind of planned out where everything was going to go, and I knew I wanted those to pop a little bit more, so I doubled up them as well as that moth or butterfly. I doubled up the foam tape behind that as well. Not necessary, I just like having a little bit more dimension on my card. So now I have an A2 top folding card base made from 110-pound white cardstock, and I'm going to ink blend a background, a very simple background that's really going to, again, make the flower really pop. I'm going to ink blend on the upper right corner of my card front with spiced marmalade, just a little bit, just to add that little yellow orange up in that corner. And now at the bottom left corner, I'm blending, starting with blueprint sketch, just blending that corner, making sure, tapping off the excess just because I want to make sure I have a nice soft blend here, no hard edges. And once I get a nice gradation here with that blueprint sketch, I will move on to chipped sapphire and just blend a little bit more just to amp up the intensity right there at that very corner. And that will finish my background. So now that my background is done, I can start to assemble this card. I removed the backing on the foam tape, and I'm starting with that main stem of the flower. Once I kind of get that in the right position, then I will pull off the backing on the flower and just pop that right on the base of the stem. Again, this flower has 2 layers of foam tape on it, so it's a little bit more raised than the stem. The butterfly goes right in the lower left, and again, he has doubled foam tape, so he's raised. And then the sentiment goes kind of right in the center on the right side of the card. To finish up my card, I'm going to add a couple clear enamel dots. Waffle Flower has some enamel dots now, and this is the Clean and Clear pack, my favorite pack, because I just love those clear and white dots. I think they're just so useful. So I'm just going to add a little bit to the flower and a leaf. It just kind of looks like a dewdrop, and it adds a nice sparkle to the card. So now that the card's finished, I'll hold it to the camera so you can get a good look at all that Copic coloring and ink blending. I really love how this card turned out. The colors are so bright and vibrant, and I really love that simple ink blended background that really kind of cements everything and just completes the card. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. If you want any more information on the products I use, please visit Waffle Flower. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon.